How we doing, everybody? Chef Joe Lester, Long Island Cuisine. So tonight I'm going to make uh, this incredible dumpling. It's beef marrow, all right? So I have simple ingredients: King Arthur flour, some baking powder. I have some Hungarian paprika, 2 eggs, a nice small bunch of fresh Italian parsley, 1 sprig of fresh thyme, and I got some French's onion. I'll show you what I'm going to do later. And there's the bone marrow. And these dumplings are going to be awesome. And once they're made, I'm going to poach them in some chicken stock, and then I'm going to add them to the beautiful soup I made. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, so what I did is I took the 2 eggs, and I whipped them up to double its size, double its volume. So I'm going to use like a half a teaspoon of baking powder, about a half a teaspoon of this Hungarian paprika. I took 3/4 of an ounce of the French's crispy onions. I chopped them fine. I showed you the bunch of parsley. I just chopped that fine. I have 1 sprig of fresh thyme. So you gotta be careful with this because it's very potent. So you see this, this sprig here. I'm not gonna use too much because it's, again, very potent, but it gives it a really nice flavor. Okay, so use some Hungarian paprika. Yeah, it looks like a teaspoon. Yeah, perfect. I'm going to use the baking powder here. That's going to be a half a teaspoon, okay? All right, let that react. All right. I'm going to start off with 2 cups of flour because it is humid out. So sometimes when it's humid, you have to add more flour. It's like making gnocchi. All right, so I'm going to add my onions here. All right. Now you could use fresh chives, you could use scallions, but there's many ways of making this. Okay. Adding my parsley. This is fresh parsley. I still have it in my garden, even though it's cold out, but it's pretty tough, pretty strong. Yeah, so just give it a little goodness. All right, so now I'm just mixing this together with the eggs. And now I have my, look at this. This is the beef bone marrow, all right? So I cook this, in the stock, and I'll explain to you later on. So what I'm gonna do is just add this, because I'm gonna mix everything and make a dough. All right, here we go. That's gonna be all folded in. Put it all together. Let me see now. All right, got my King Arthur flour here. I don't want to get it all over the place because I am a little sloppy. No way, Joe. Oh, yes way. All right, so that's 1 cup. Okay, now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to poach these once I make the dough in chicken stock. Now you can use just, boiling water with a little salt added to it. All right. All right, so now I'm just going to mix this all together. Like you're making a dough, all right? I don't need this no more. All right, let me put so you see what I'm doing here? I'm mixing all that marrow with the eggs and the flour and the herbs and the spices. And then what I'm gonna do is roll this out and cook it like, I'm gonna poach it like you would gnocchi. But yeah, this is going to be incredible with the soup that I made, and I'll show you that later on. So the stock that I make, I cooked it for 14 hours. So I used, I used the beef shanks, with the marrow, and I also cooked the chicken, and then the carcass I also put in with that because I browned the bones with mirepoix, and I cooked that for 14 hours. Oh, look at this. Oh, yeah. I think this is enough flour. But I'm going to let this rest for about a half hour because I want the gluten to relax. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. So what I did, I took the dough and what I did is rolled it in some flour. And I have my chicken stock here. And I'm going to poach these in the chicken stock. Lightly simmered. You don't want to kill them. But yeah, it's such a mild taste, and the beef bone marrow. And when I show you in a little bit the soup that I made, it's simple. You do this at home, and plus how your house smells. So I'm just cutting these into slices. See? Very simple. I let this rest outside because it's cold enough for about a half hour to let the gluten rest and let the baking powder act up. And here we go. So I'm just going to poach these. You can poach these in boiling salted water too, but the reason why I use chicken stock because it gives it a really nice flavor. And that's what I'm looking for. Oh yeah. So you see what I'm doing here? Again, you don't see this just anywhere. But the flavors and in the stock here. So you see how I just plop these in? That's what you do. And I'm gonna let these slowly simmer for about maybe 10-15 minutes. And then once they start coming up to the top, then you turn them over. It's almost like a potato dumpling in a way. And yeah, that's what I do. I let these come to the top, and then I just flip them over, cook them for another 7-8 minutes. So yeah, here you go. So it's simple, but what I did too, I cooked off Pennsylvania Dutch noodles, the egg noodles, and yeah, and so we can have the dumplings with this soup, or we could have the Pennsylvania Dutch egg noodles. I like the Pennsylvania Dutch egg noodles because they are made with egg. I don't like those noodles that are made with, yolk free. But anyway, so yeah, I'll be back in a little bit, and we're gonna taste something really, really nice, especially this time of year. All right, so I told you like the stock that I made, with the bone marrow, with the onions, carrots, celery. I roasted them, and I cooked the chicken. And the carcass that was left over with a lot of meat, I put that into the stock pot, and I actually cooked that for like 14 hours. You don't have to do that. I do that because I love making stocks and soups and sauces. So these are the dumplings. So they're so fine, and they're like little medallions. Just add this to the soup. Okay. It's very delicate, but the taste, the bone marrow, which melts into the fat, into the flour. So now I have to taste this. So I seasoned the bone marrow, dough with salt and pepper, and you season it, to your taste. Okay. What's that? So yeah, this is a simple stock and a simple soup. And again, you could add noodles too, but this brings it to another level, and you're gonna love it. It's a little work, but the end result is just phenomenal. I gotta make sure it's good. Wow. Yeah. With these dumplings, Incredible. There's a million ways you can make it too. You can actually roll them out like gnocchi, and then you slice it, and then you poach it. But I made them into medallions. But oh my God. The homemade stock, nothing like it. All right, folks. Thank you for watching Long Island Cuisine. Likes, comments, subscribe. And happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. Have a great night.